All right, injuries. Deshaun obviously did not practice. Justin Rogers did not practice with his foot. Spate is in the concussion symptoms, and he's in a concussion protocol. Terrence Knight did not practice with the sore rib. Limited was Corey Lichtensteiger finger, Tom Compton calf, D'Angelo Hall rib, and Trent Williams ankle. And full practice was Jackson Jeffcoat.
With some of those guys like Knight and Hall, Williams in particular, is that something that may keep them out Sunday or precautionary?
We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. D. Hall was limited today, did some good things, and Trent obviously practiced for the most part. We just held him out at the end.
You brought in a new cornerback yesterday. Where do you stand as far as your depth there and what you're going to be able to get this weekend?
Yeah, well, we're concerned about Justin, obviously. So we had to sign another one, and we'll go from there. But we still have Amerson Breland's coming back, and D. Hall hopefully will be good to go. So we have three corners right there, and obviously Kai Sean can play inside at nickel too, so he's a valuable flex guy.
Jay, was the concussion for Spate, is that tracing back to the game the other day? And how?
It's just he had concussion symptoms, so he's in the protocol. Okay. So I don't know. Must have got it in the game.
What's the plan for you guys at strong safety right now?
Strong safety. Right now it's Golston and Trenton.
Would Golston move over to strong safety, or they both back there kind of playing, swapping?
I think
off
they're
the
interchangeable, but right now Golston is the free safety, and Trenton would be the strong. Kai Sean will, like I said, Kai Sean is a valuable flex guy because he can play nickel and free safety, so he's good for us.
Is that a reflection on something that Jaron Johnson hasn't shown since training camp?
No, I think it's more of a reflection of how well Trenton's played. Jaron will play too. He's doing well also, but Trenton got the majority of snaps last week, and did some good things. So we're just going to continue to try to build off that performance, and not to say Jaron's doing poorly, so we think Trent's doing good.
Jaron was rotating with Duke throughout the summer and in the spring and all that. He had that hamstring injury. How much did that set him back for what you guys want to see?
A lot. Anytime you have an injury like that, it not only sets you back as a player, but it also gives somebody else all your reps, and it lets them play well or get us a good look at them, and that's kind of what happened with Trenton.
What's Trenton showing you that he maybe wasn't in the past?
I think he's got a good confidence, number one. This is, he got another year under his belt, and he's picked up the system pretty well, and he's fast. So he's got a little bit more speed. So I think both of them are valuable guys back there for us, and they'll both probably see the field. It's just right now, if you're calling a starter, it would be Trenton.
How has Jaron handled the situation? Obviously, he came in here expecting to compete for the strong safety job, gets banged up, gets bumped down the depth chart.
Yeah, he's a pro, man. He's a heck of a guy. He works hard. He's done everything he can to get his body right, his hamstring back to 100%, and I think he is right now. But, working into the lineup and is another thing, and he will get some significant playing time. It's just when, and we'll figure that out. But he's a valuable part of our secondary and special teams.
Looking back on the game, the offensive pass interference against Jordan Reed was a big call for you guys, and one not a lot of people were thrilled about. Did you hear back from the league on that? And then part two is, what do you tell the guys, about overcoming those kinds of penalties, whether they're legitimate or not, to be able to sustain drives when you get into that situation?
Yeah, you teach the fundamentals of football, and you try not to get penalties. There are a couple penalties that could or could not have been thrown, both sides of the ball, I'm sure. And when they do happen, we have to do a good job of digging down deep and trying to overcome them. We did a poor job of that in the game. We had a couple offensive holdings. We had a couple offensive PIs. Pierre had one. His hand got tangled up with Grimes, and it could have gone either way, but they called it on us, and we didn't overcome it. We threw a pick on the next play, I think it was. And then the offensive PI to Jordan Reed, he was just running a route, and the linebacker ran into him, and they called it, backed us up. Instead of getting a field goal or going for it on 4th and 1, we ended up having to punt. So those are big plays that we did not overcome, unfortunately. No.
How hard is it to practice punt coverage? Obviously, the punt return against you this week, and Tavon Austin brought one back for them last week as well.
How hard is it to practice?
Yeah, given the rules in terms of contact, and then also just
it's hard, especially with the amount of bodies you have during this time of year. With a couple of the injured guys that aren't practicing, you're limited with the numbers. You got the practice squad guys out there and trying to get the exact look with the speed and tempo that the Rams are going to give you. It's difficult, but we just have to hold our guys accountable and make sure we challenge them. That we got to do a better job in all phases of special teams, no question about it. And Tavon took one back last year. We all know that. Took one back last week. In fact, he's a dangerous player, both as a returner and as a receiver and as a running back. So, we got to do a good job at the hang time. First of all, we got to protect our punter, and then get the proper hang time, and then we got to get the coverage.
What was the thinking behind putting Ahinacho on the season-ending IR rather than giving him a shot to come back in mid-season?
Yeah, he's having surgery, and we just thought the amount of time that it would take for him to come back, is lengthy based on the doctors and trainers and all that. So we decided to put him on IR.
Jay, you guys were 31% on third down last year and almost near 50% in the first game. What was the key there when you look back at things? What worked well on sustaining drives?
We did some good things. We had some third makeables, number one. We the ones we didn't get, we had, I think, 3 running attempts in makeable yards. We ran an inside zone that we were close, and third and 8, I think we ran a sweep, and we had a couple third and unmakeables that we didn't get. But I just think, we've been working those things. And Jordan Reed made some big conversions, and Pierre had one, I think. And just a matter of getting the ball out of your hands, protection first, and then making a throw and tough catch. And we did that.
Jay, you spoke about this a little bit on Monday, but with Deshaun out, how big of an opportunity is this for guys like Rashad Ross and Jamison Crowder, the speedsters, to show you what they can do?
Yeah, big chance. And Ryan Grant also. It's sometimes, as a wide receiver, you're playing behind guys like Pierre and Deshaun. You don't get many looks. So this is a great opportunity for all those guys. Andre, too. They're going to get more and more reps and more opportunities to show what they have. And we're counting on them big time. And we are banking on the fact that what they've done out here is going to transform into the game time. But only time will tell. And I feel really good about Ryan and obviously Ross and Andre and Jamison picking up the slack. It's hard to pick up the slack for a guy like Deshaun, but I think as a group effort, we have guys that are very diligent in their route running abilities and have good hands that they can do some good things.
Jay, there was a 25-yard completion off a play action to Jordan Reed, I think in the third quarter on Sunday. Is that the kind of throw in between the safety and linebackers that's maybe more available for a guy like Kirk, anticipation, trust, all that kind of stuff, than maybe others?
Well, he was consistent with that all through the offseason and obviously the offseason program and training camp, and it was a great throw and a great catch by Jordan. But just overall, I think Kirk played a pretty good game, and obviously the 2 interceptions were what they were. But we were in position to at least tie the game there in the fourth quarter, and unfortunately didn't make plays. But I think from a game one standpoint, you never like to lose a football game, but I think there's a lot to build on with the quarterback and everybody else.
From our point of view, it looks like you've been thinking about getting a stronger leg and a kicker for a long time with drafting Hoker last year. Mm-hmm. Was there any one thing recently that made you go ahead and pull the trigger on that decision to get a stronger leg kicker in?
I don't think so. I think basically we brought in some specialists, to work out the other day just in case one of them got injured, and we were really impressed with the way he worked out. And I just think it's a combination of his leg strength and his accuracy out there. We just feel like with the special teams difficulties covering kicks sometimes, it'd be nice to kick the ball off through the end zone at a consistent rate. And that's really the main reason. And he kicked the field goals accurately out here. But we'll see. We had a good day tomorrow to practice them, and the next day, and hopefully we have confidence in kicking the field goals. Kai is, you can't say enough about his accuracy inside 40 yards. He's well documented and statistically, and we'll miss him. But we're just trying to get a more rounded kicker that's a little bit better, longer field goals and kicking off.
Jay, by all accounts, your young linemen held up pretty well against the Dolphins, but talk about the challenge they will face this week. Aaron Donald and those guys obviously are pretty tough.
Yeah, it's not like after you play the Dolphins you can take a sigh of relief and say, oh, thank goodness they're out of here. And now you have St. Louis coming in here, whose defensive line is probably better. They're faster. They pose a little bit different threat. Quinn's extremely fast off the edge and very athletic, and obviously Long is a heck of a polished pass rusher. And then you got Aaron Donald, who's a Pro Bowler as a rookie. So they're excellent running to the football, getting up the field, and it'll be a great challenge for them again. And like next week will be for the Giants out on a short week. So those guys can't ever relax, man. Every week is going to be a challenge for them, and we have to stay after them and keep pushing them. And I think the type of guys that they are, they will do that.
Did the Culliver suspension catch you by surprise?
Yeah, well, we thought it could be a possibility, but it caught us by surprise.
And have you decided what you're going to do at corner this week in terms of who's inside, who's outside with Breland?
We got Breland back, and we're working through that now.
Going back to Donald, what kind of things do you see St. Louis's defense being able to do because they have a guy like that, and just different things that maybe other defenses can throw at you?
Well, he's just really active. You know, he gets up the field so fast. You know, he's disruptive. You know, you think you can just run the ball at him because he's not as big as a three technique or defensive lineman as some of these guys are, but he's so active and so quick off the snap that he gets penetration. He's disruptive in the run game also. And obviously in the pass game, he's as good a pass rusher as there is at the defensive lineman position. So he just plays hard all the time and is very active, like I said. And then you have Quinn on defensive end over Trent, and obviously Long, who's done a lot of good things, and then Hayes, who comes in and is a very strong, powerful guy, and then Ogletree can run at linebacker, and Laurinaitis. They're a solid defense.
Do you expect similar type of workload for Alfred? And when he's running like he was last week, how much does that just help everything with the offense and execution?
It helps a lot. You know, we just have to be prepared to convert on some of the third downs. You know, this is not a team that's going to just lay back and say, okay, you can run the ball. You know, there's some personnel groupings that we like to get in that St. Louis will say, no can do. We're going to have to throw the ball sometimes. They're going to load up the box and bring a strong safety and do some different things that try to slow the running game down. But it does take the pressure off the quarterback. The linemen love it. They can get in their stance, come off, get their double teams, get up to the next level, and they love to run the ball. Man, they don't like to be pass setting all the time, trying to block all these stunts, and they're Donald and Quinn, and they like to come off the rock and blow people up, and we're pretty good at it, I think. So we have to use that formula for our success throughout this whole year. We don't ever want to be caught in a game where we throw the ball 65 times. It could happen, but that's not the intent here.
Jay, with now one regular season game down, how would you describe the circle of communication between you, Sean, and specifically with Coach Callahan, working at the tempo that obviously you guys had to work with on Sunday?
No, it's good. It's solid. We have no problem. We had one delayed game penalty, and that was a communication issue up front on the protection. Other than that, the plays were in at plenty of time, and communication was fine. And we have a good set of plays, a good game plan for the game. And Kirk's well schooled on what to expect in certain situations, and it goes like that. So it's not an issue. And Coach Callahan does an excellent job putting his stamp on the running game, and we have total communication before a series start of what we want to get to, and as the series are going, it goes smooth.
Coach, without Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon, good to see him do what he did last week, and Jordan Reed as well. Those two guys I expect will be even more of a focal point for you guys offensively.
Yeah, no question. Pierre had a good game. He had an unfortunate PI, and then he had another catch that was called back because of the alleged pick by Jordan Reed. But, he's ready to step up and make some plays. He wants the ball. He's hungry for the ball. Same with Jordan Reed. But the other guys also have to do their thing. You know, it's very important for us to continue to spread the ball around, get the ball in the hands of our playmakers, and Pierre and Jordan are two of our best.
And Colt McCoy is number 2, solid.
He was number 2 this week, yeah.
Okay.
Notwithstanding the strip fumble by Preston Smith, how would you assess your linebackers overall, especially Trent Murphy?
I think, we did good. I think they stopped the run like we wanted to. They had a couple runs there late. They were unfortunate. We missed a tackle there, and they had 3rd down and 8 running out the clock. That was kind of frustrating. But overall, you go into the game, you want to stop the running attack, and I think we did a good job of that. You want to rush a passer. We had 3 sacks, and it's a group effort. Preston did well. Trent was very, very good in the running game, solid. Rush a passer, okay, had a couple pressures. And the linebackers, Keenan and Perry, they're running the ball, doing some good things. There's some things we're going to clean up and get cleaned up, but that unit, I thought, played fairly well with the exception of the last 2-minute drive of the half and then closing out the game, not getting them off the field. Okay.